So now let's go ahead and try to do this next problem. I want to try to do this without the color coding, so hopefully we can try to see it without colors and try to get to where we can do this without all of that. So let's try to do this one. Let's look at the left side first. I have negative 3x plus 3 plus 2. Okay, so remember our first step, draw the river. Can we distribute on the left side? No. Can we distribute on the right side? So this is a variable side, constant side. We can't distribute on the variable side, so step number 1 we're doing right now. Can we distribute on the left? No. So just bring that down. Equals. And now let's go ahead and do our distribution here. Negative 6 to this, so I have a negative times a positive is going to give me a negative. 6 times 3 is going to give me 18. A negative times a positive is give me a negative. 6 times 2x is going to give me 12x. And then now we have to go to the next one. We have to distribute the positive 5. Remember, I've distributed that whole number and the sign. Positive 5, so let's go ahead and do this. Positive times positive gives me a positive. 5 times 4 gives me 20x, so plus 20x. And then positive times negative is going to give me a negative. 5 times 2 is going to give me 10. So again, now we are at this. Negative 3x plus 3 plus 2 equals negative 18 minus 2x plus 20x minus 10. Okay, so on the left side, now we've got to do step number 2. Step 2 is to remember to combine like terms. So I'm going to box my variables on the left and circle my constants. And then now what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So I have to circle my constant here. I have a variable, so I need to box the variable. I have a variable here, so I got to box the variable. And then I have a constant here. Okay, so circle. Now let's look on the left side. I have 2 circles, so I need to combine those. Positive 3 plus 2 is going to give me positive 5. And then I just bring down my variable that I didn't use. Equals. Now look here, we have 2 circles. Negative 18 minus 10 is the same thing, so we know that our answer is going to be negative because they're both negative. And now we just add the numbers. 18 plus 10 is going to give me negative 28. And now we got to do our boxes, which is our variables, and we're combining our variables. I have a negative 12x plus 20x. I know my bigger number is positive, so I know my answer is going to be positive. And then 20 minus 12 is going to give me 8x. Now, we have done step number 2, which is combining like terms. So now we got to do number 3, where we have to move utilizing inverse operations. So we got to move the variables from the right to the left and the constants from the left to the right. So let's go ahead and do that. I need to move this positive 5 over here, so I need to subtract 5. Subtract 5. Remember, we do to one side, we do to the other. I have 2 negative numbers, negative, negative, so I know my answer is going to be negative. And then now we're just adding them together. 28 plus 5 is going to give me 33 plus 8x. And then now we just bring this down, negative 3x. Again, we have to utilize inverse operations with these two. So inverse, because we're trying to move our variable to the right to the left. So I've got a positive 8 here, so I got to subtract 8x. Subtract 8x. Now I've got to do the math. I know that they're both negative, so my answer is going to be negative. 3 plus 8 is going to give me 11x equal to, and then now we just bring down what we didn't use, negative 33. So now we've got to do step number 4, which is to divorce divide. So I've got to divide by negative 11, divide by negative 11. And number 5 is x equals. So I have a negative divided by a negative is going to give me a positive. 33 divided by 11 gives me 3. So x is equal to positive 3. Okay. Now with this one, I would like to show you how to plug something in. So I'm going to take this problem, number 6, and now I'm going to rewrite it with my variable. Now remember, I'm substituting. So when I substitute, I always do it in parentheses. Negative 3 times x, which is now 3, plus 3 plus 2 is equal to negative 6, parentheses, 3 times or plus 2 times 3, parentheses again, plus 5 times 4 times 3, minus 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the math. 3 times 3, negative times in positive is going to give me a negative. 3 times 3 gives me 9, plus 3 plus 2. Negative 9 plus 3 is going to give me negative 6, plus 2 is going to give me negative 4. So negative 4, if this answer is correct, it should come out to be negative 4 on this side as well. So let's go ahead and do the math here. 2 times 3 gives me 6, plus 3 gives me 9, plus 4 times 3 gives me 12, minus 2 gives me 10, so 5 times 10 here. So let's go ahead and do the math. 6 times 9 is going to give me negative times a positive gives me a negative. 6 times 9 gives me 54, plus 5 times 10 gives me 50. Now I've got to do the math here. Negative 54, so I know my answer is going to be negative, and then I just do subtraction. 54 minus 50 gives me 4, so negative 4 equals negative 4. If that is what that comes out to be, then this is correct. So we just checked our answer.